This is Jim Emter, Van Ahn Company, Alexandria, Minnesota, with your closing grain and livestock comments for August 27, 2021. Corn market up 5 1/4, beans down 8 1/4, Chicago wheat down 6 3/4, Minneapolis up 7 3/4, Kansas City down 3 1/4. On the week, corn market up 19 1/4, beans up 65 1/2. Now, big note here: September still the lead contract there, and we're not in notice yet for the corn and bean markets. The September contracts perform far better than what the new crop contracts did this week, kind of gaining on the spread relationship there, and that's why you see those big gains for those two markets. Chicago wheat up 4 1/4, Minneapolis up 17 3/4, Kansas City up 10 1/4. Well, what can we say? We're stuck here with no new news. No new news is generally bear news, and that's why for the last couple weeks on average we've seen a little more of a negative bias, but we're holding in there okay, and part of that's because we're getting some daily export sales, and part of that's just because we know we're a bit tight in this market. But generally over time into this seasonal pattern where we point lower, we've got to be careful and would not be surprised if this market does try to make an effort to trade to the downside before we get past harvest. So kind of watch that, be attentive to that, unless we get some just new bull news. So that seems to be the path of least resistance, at least for now. Stay tuned though, things can change on a dime. Feeder cattle market up 20 cents, live cattle down 47 1/2, hogs up 285. Feeder cattle on the week up 562 1/2, live cattle down 227 1/2. But that's a little deceiving. August is kind of in its last days of existence. The October contract was actually up 0.075, so just up slightly. Really a big disappointing week for that cattle market there, but we'll come to that in a minute. Hog market was up 210 on the week. Let's come back to cattle first there. Big start on a Monday here. Breakout to the top side, market revs up, and then we spend the rest of the week fading back down and getting basically raked back to where we started there. Cash cattle 121 in the south. You're looking at 129 in the north, 200 to 208 on the dress trades. So good overall cash undertone, just the inability to extend off of that. Hog market, nice progression on Friday. Good to see kind of some base supports come back in here. Some optimism over kind of what could become of China. Expectations are for a 14% decline into 2022 as we look at basically China's hog production. But again, we still needed to see the demand show up. Exports were good this week. That's what helped on a good Thursday, Friday trade. But we've got to see that on a weekly basis. This has been Jim Emter, Van Ahn Company, Alexandria, Minnesota. Trading futures and options involves risk of loss and is not suitable for all producers. Past performance is not indicative of future results. This is a solicitation. Have a great weekend.